100%.
Adejosh,
Yes.
one question. Wizkid or Davido?
No, do you know it's
it's music-wise. We're not. I love them both.
I
Both
love
of
them
them
both.
will have a concert and I'll
Yes.
show up there.
My truth is
Or Burner.
oh wow. Okay. Okay, look. I feel like my biggest inspiration is Wizkid. I'll say the hardest worker. I don't want to say the hardest worker, but someone that's taught me to be resilient is Burna Boy.
Okay.
But then somebody that's showed me that there's no such thing as a ceiling is Davido. Davido doesn't need to sing. He's in a rich family. He's okay. But he still hustles like somebody that's broke. And I have the maximum respect for that. So if I was to pick, again, just in line with my sound, just in line with who I am, my biggest inspiration's been Wizkid. So I would pick Wizkid because I've learned so much from him without actually talking to him one-on-one.
Okay. Ashake. I love Ashake so much. And I went for I've been for quite a few of his concerts. And then recently I've seen Ashake go through a change where he's cut his hair. He's more religious. And all of that. What's your take on Ashake's new sound and new look?
Okay, I know Ashake has been grinding for a very, very long time. Very, very long time, from what I see from the outside. However, this is why I'm very adamant on finding yourself and knowing yourself before fame. And not chasing desires, but being very in tune with yourself. I feel like change is inevitable, but when you change your identity, it's easy for you to lose yourself. And I feel like we've seen within the last 3 to 4 to 5 years, we've seen so many different versions of Ashake. He might have the same sound, but you can tell he's a different person each time. And I don't want to say that's an identity crisis. No, like I can tell Ashake who he is when without the fame, he's in tune with that person. But when you are very focused on what the external people receive from you, that's when you're... So, for example, you hear about... I'm not saying he done this, or please, but something I teach the boys is when you hear about selling your soul doesn't mean a devil's come to you with a contract and you've now signed with blood. I feel like selling your soul is when you lose who you are, your identity, whether that is to fit in, whether that is, this is what's accepted now, or this is what the people... That's when you now replace who you are for what people want. That's when you've sold your soul.
Could it be that he's just going through an evolution where he's finding himself, he's finding layers of himself, almost like an onion? You open one layer and then you open another and there's another layer to you. Could it be that?
But again, I look at how God orchestrates life. With change is gradual, not just like this. So, for example, it's like pregnancy. You'll see gradual changes. It's not that you're pregnant today, tomorrow you have belly. Ashake can wake up today, have dreadlocks today, and be bald tomorrow and blue hair by Wednesday. But at the same time, it's not for me to judge. It's not for me to judge because I believe that everyone has their own unique path, and everyone, like with me, I don't know if Ashake, for example, is a Muslim or if he's celestial. I don't like, he gives a lot of him being in a space of confusion internally. But who am I to judge? I believe God writes everyone's story uniquely. So, yeah.
I've got a question that is in my mind now. I'm not sure if I should, but I think I'll go there while I'm giving you time to recover from this one. So, you know that generally as Christians, right? Because I sing as well. I don't know if you know that.
I never knew that.
I sing as well.
Okay, amazing.
So, So I used to have a handle on Instagram called Bola Sings, but I've taken it down.
Oh, why?
It's coming back.
Okay, yes.
I remember going through, because my songs then is like really the blues.
Okay, nice.
And I remember a particular church I went to then, and there was a lady in the church that, had a problem with me singing the blues because she felt that as a Christian and someone that sings in the choir, you're supposed to only be singing gospel, which I also have some gospel tracks. But I'm of a different belief that the Lord places us in different fields so that we can influence different communities. However, this week, something happened that was like, Jesus. The pastor said we should not release this song, though.
Okay,
So you know Nice, right?
Yeah.
So basically, when Nice first came out, I loved his music. I knew it back to back. And I love Yoruba language. So I literally studied every lyric and I would write it and recite it back to back. And I used to be like saying to my husband that this song is sounding a bit like all these incantations.
Okay.
Guess what? Guess what? You're supposed to say what? I know. So I wouldn't. So Nice goes on some podcast and says that he's been a babalawo for 18 years. I said,
Bagam.
Imagine. So that we say, Jesus have mercy upon us.
Okay. Yes, have mercy upon us. Yes, okay.
What's your take on that now?
Okay.
Because now, the pastor, you know Yoruba?
Yeah.
Say, Orotaniki, Baba Mango, Baba Yoma Pare. When pastor said that, don't sing this song, and I said no. Now I have to go back to the pastor.
My truth on that is, that's why it's the spirit of discernment.
I know, right? It is.
It's because there's some Christian songs that honestly you shouldn't even sing because where it really comes from wasn't a godly place. And it works both sides. However, one thing I believe is people are so fixated on tick boxing as a Christian. We sing like this, we walk like this, we talk like this, we dress like this. And again, nobody really caters to who you are as a person inside. So I've realized God stands with who he chooses. And who he chooses doesn't mean that this is the best. Let's use Jacob as an example. Jacob even means trickster. We even pray, the God of Jacob. But the truth is, Jacob lied to his dad, took his brother's birthright. He was a trickster. And this is the person that God said, hey, this is who I'm standing behind.
So David, let's try David.
David was a bad boy.
David now.
Exactly.
Somebody's wife.
Bathsheba.
And then
and God said, this is the apple. This is a man that's after my heart.
David, God calls him what?
Man, that's after his.
Can you imagine?
So
God's ways are not our ways.
So that's why I understand why God says don't judge. Yeah. But that's why, for example, I'm a type of person. I have Christian music and I have quote unquote secular music. But one thing I've realized is, doesn't mean God is not standing behind the music that I make that's not for the church, because that music has opened doors. The prison job that I'm doing now is because I was an artist dropping secular music.
Let me give you a revelation that even came to me, that sometimes God will send you almost like a secret agent into a field. Yeah. And once you're planted, you can detonate there. Imagine someone like Beyonce one day really, really receiving Christ and just saying that I'm born again. Do you know how many people would hear Christ? And then we'll go and find out that what's Christianity about. So sometimes God uses us to enter areas of influence, and once you're there, he will then uncover and you'll be like, boom, 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 boom. Gotcha, you're in heaven now.
Honestly, like the beauty of that is something I actually learned this Easter period is apparently when Jesus was crucified, the devil said, oh, if I knew that this was your plot, we would have never crucified him. So what that shows me is God does things strategically to checkmate. It'll be like, you didn't see this coming. And that's why it's like an artist called Stormzy. He started with freestyles called Shut Up, Rude Boy, Shut Up, Kinney called Big for Your Boots. Then he got to a stage where he was able to make gospel song, Blinded by Your Grace. And people that has never used their mouth to even praise or sing about God are now doing that. That's why one thing I love is when God says that if you guys won't praise me, I'll get the stones to praise me.
I know.
It means that God's intentional in making sure that I will collect my praise. If God says, you don't know me, but I'll find a way for your tongue to praise me. Like, that's
And you know, out of all of this, one thing that I always try to make people understand is that sometimes when we think about our work here on earth, our purpose as children of God is to do the work of an evangelist. Sometimes we put that task on ourselves so hard. But God says, my yoke is not hard. Because when you think about it, all he needs for you is just mention Jesus, move on.
That's it. That's
For
it.
you. It's not for you to drag them to church. Let them know about Jesus. He will send somebody else that will do the next part.
So
Apollo, just do your own. Oh, I'm a follower of Christ. You've done your work.
That's it.
You deserve that donut that day because you planted a seed.
That's it.
But it's not for us to take someone and bash them down. Today, if you don't give your life, no. God already has planned for that person. But that just mentioning the name Jesus. That's why sometimes you just see me randomly like, Joe, I walk today. I get your name on my feet today. Because guess what? Somebody is going to go away and that sound Jesus. Because the Bible says that name every knee will bow. You've helped some issues in some people's life bow that day by mentioning Christ's name. So I love the fact that God is raising a generation of people like you and myself and Abby that know and understand God, but we don't necessarily force it down anyone's throat because that's not our job.
Just to even add to that is equivalent to, again, when I got this prison job, in my heart, I was thinking, how can I bring Christ into this environment? And God told me, he's just like, I'm not sending you to go there and preach. I'm not, no. Be yourself. You do music, I've said, go do music. That's why even on my Instagram, it says, prove nothing, let your light do the talking. I'm very adamant on, God, I've been designed to live my truth. I'll walk in it. And how God will use that to impact people's lives is not my orchestration. So yeah, I don't need to. That's why I'm not a big. When people say I don't want to say I'm not a big fan of evangelizing. Evangelize, but evangelize in a way where you know you could be impactful. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just, yes, be the living proof, not just. That's why with me, my evangelism might not be me on the street, but it could be me at work just saying the word Jesus. And
Christian.
That's it.
In case you're trying to decide why I choose to be honest, maybe one day you find out what Christianity is about.
Yeah.
Just not being ashamed of the gospel of
That's
Christ.
it.
I think that's the core of who we need to understand to be, because every time we get threatened by, they said we can't pray here. They said we can't, but they never said we can't step in there.
Fact.
We step in there and our lives will be the testimony.
Yes, it's all about you reflect Christ.
And that's why I feel like going back down to territories and where God will send you as a secret agent. I like that. I really like that. God will say, yes, you know what? In the mobiles, I want my son to be in the building so that I can assign angels to be with him to impact people's lives without them even knowing. Or Glastonbury, I want my son to touch the stage. Or that's why God will send you places and you won't even realize the mission you're on. Oh,
yeah. Amazing.
Yeah,
okay, I mentioned earlier that we're trying to millenify ourselves and Gen Z ourselves. Abby, what's the task?
What's my task?
How's it gonna make us
How are you gonna Gen Z
and millennial? Also,
like maybe their terms. I know that.
Okay. But wait, just before we even continue, I have a question for you. I saw a post recently.
Tell me
about not settling.
Okay.
About the ignoring red flags. Yeah. Now, my question to you is, do you believe that the red flags didn't happen to you, but they happened for you?
Well, it depends on it depends on the situation you're in. So the context of that one was that if it's a situation that I can jack back from, and you know that you can't cope with, I'd rather japa from it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the examples I gave there was when many moons ago, before I got married, I was with this guy that was a nice guy, but he was very traditional in many ways. So he was like, "Oh, we don't need a freezer. I only eat freshly
cooking,
made
food. Yeah,
That could never be me. As in never. I was not made to live or die in the kitchen, But he was very traditional in his upbringing that I knew that it was going to be a problem for and this is where it comes to also knowing yourself and your calling way before anybody comes into your life. Because if God has a purpose for your life, the devil also wants to make sure you don't achieve that purpose. To me, I didn't even say they get the behind me devil. I got the devil. The fake devil. Give you. I know your type. You came to block my destiny because why should I? Of all the things God called me to be in this world, being someone's wife is secondary to me.
Facts.
It's secondary. First is my purpose.
Yeah. Facts.
So how can I let cooking for a man take over my purpose?
Okay, so I want to ask a question to the if you don't mind, okay, so in your walk and in your journey with that particular situation, would you say you got into the situation without God, or would you say God gave grace for that storyline? And if he did give grace for that storyline, why and what did you have to learn?
I don't think God sent me there. I was a young girl looking for a husband. I don't think God did not send me there.
As a cube does already, you already have it in you.
Because
and you know when, because from your study of the Word of God, you already know these things. You already
the thing is that there's one thing about intuition. You already feel on
Okay, yeah.
And the thing is, for me, a lot of times I've found, and God gives us an opportunity to learn about how he speaks to us, when he speaks to us, because he will give us situations like this that don't move the dial, that don't affect us in a big way, so that we understand his voice. I always use examples of when you're going out and something tells you put something in your bag, and you be like, I don't need it, and then you get that's the first thing you need. God has just literally trained you that I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So next time, when he says take a big bag instead of a small bag, you carry the biggest bag before I get there, and I will now need this bag. So you learn obedience by staying in touch, especially if you're someone that keeps a tally on things. So if you're like that and you're also very connected to God, you start to understand how God speaks to you, that gentle voice that will just say, call this person. Why should I call this person?
But you don't
and you call, and then the person totally needed you at that time. So you start to understand. At that time, I was a young girl. I was like, time is going. 28, closer to marry somebody. And then these guys will start showing up. And you have options. And it's then down to you.
That's why God has already.
But I've always known, even growing up, that there was. I wasn't clear. I've never really had clarity up until my 40s exactly where I'm supposed to be. But I always knew that it was a big calling on my life. So I always guarded that calling like as if I was military. So I would always compare that. So because of marriage,
I was like,
I'm not going to where I'm going. If you asked me there where I was going, it could have been heaven. But I knew that God was taking me somewhere that would have been a problem for me. Because of love, you'll be cooking 24 hours. You don't have freezer.
God forbid. God forbid.
Wait, so he hasn't Gen Z us yet now. You haven't, is it dance? Is it what? What are we supposed to do?
Okay, do you know?
I need to be.
Okay.
I need to show up.
We need music then.
Okay, we can add music later, but just tell me what we need to do. Abi, do you have music or what
music should I play for?
I dropped
play one of the songs.
Yeah, I got a song called Dilemma.
Dilemma.
Dilemma. Dilemma.
I know that. You see that I'm following you. All of you. When Adejosh is selling out O2, come and ask me.
Yeah.
I will be his man.
Trust me.
I'll be the one be like, no, you can't sit there.
Yeah, no. Sorry, that's reserved.
Yeah. I'll be that auntie that'll be like, no.
Yes. Okay. So what we're doing? Hand on head, no.
This one.
No. Sorry, no.
Because I can't control.
No, we have to stand up. Would it be too much?
Let's try because I can only control one part of my body at the time.
So it goes. Get. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. No, we love it. Hey. Hey, no, beautiful.
Well done. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So that makes us
That's it,
what
yeah.
does that make us?
Officially,
Millennial.
Yeah, one of us.
High five, Abi.
No, all of us.
Yes. People shouldn't try me again. Next time I go to a concert,
We know what to do now.
we know what to do. I'm even shocked. I need to move my legs and my hands together. It's usually one part of my
one at a time.
I'm one of those people that you see at the party, I'm like,
Then
stand up, it's all over. I'm just gone. You be thinking that this just move.
Honestly, but
The moment I stand up, Jesus. Oh God, Adejosh, it's always such a pleasure to have you. So proud of you. So proud to see your big strides. Please check out his music. Follow Adejosh, my baby on Adejoshnoni.
that's what's up.
Yes, officially the funky aunties and mommy.
Yeah. Ooh.
Promoter.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning. Yes, Bola and the incredible Abi. And we've had here the future of O2, of Nigeria, of Afrobeats music. It's Adejosh.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for coming.
Always
And
an
we've got
honor.
donuts.
Can I take one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Of course.
Awesome. See you guys. Sit down. Whoosh. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Oh, but I donuts. We gotta go. Lots of love. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
That's absolutely amazing.